All right, I'm going to do a series of lessons on capoing, and the main goal and purpose of this series is to help you learn to capo up and down the neck and play in any key without having to transpose. And because normally what happens is when a song's in the key of F and you don't want to play F chords, you capo with the third fret and you use D shapes. And so on the chart, on the lyric sheet with the chords over, or on the chart or whatever, for every F you write D, and for every B flat you write G, and for every C you write an A, and that's how you kind of navigate your way through the chart. But the problem with that is that you're really not learning the chords up the neck. Secondly, you're going to get yourself into trouble in many ways. One, if something's last minute and you don't have time to do the transpositions, or if you're trying to do them in your head and you make a mistake, or if you think you're in the key of D when you're really in the key of F and you go up and do some kind of fill and you're playing D licks up here, high up the neck, and it totally doesn't work. So I'm going to avoid that. I want you to be thinking about the key that you're in when you're actually in it. And the temptation for guitar players to be very lazy, just like, for example, play every song in the key of G and not, using G shapes, but not realize they're actually in A flat, or they're actually in B flat, or they're actually in A or B or whatever. So each lesson is going to be a different fret. We're going to talk about it. Also, we're going to I'm going to be testing you within the video. So right now I'm capoed at the first fret, and ultimately the goal is, I'm going to take this capo off, but ultimately the goal is to know your fretboard all the way up and down. In other words, this is a D chord, and if you just take the top three notes, okay, and you go up one fret, that's E flat, and that's E, and that's F. And this is F sharp or G flat, and this is G, and this is G sharp or A flat, and this is A. So if I had a capo up here at the 7th fret and played a D shape, that's an A. So you need to know your way up and down the neck. You need to know every chord in every position. We talked about this before in my caged method lessons, where we talked about the 5 shapes and how we move them up and down the neck to find different positions for soloing and even for rhythm playing and things like that. So, okay. Capo is going to be on the 1st fret. I'm going to tell you what chords we're actually playing and what they look like. And let's just start with the 1st fret here. Okay, I'm going to play a G. All right, that's a G shape, but it's really an A flat chord. Okay, what kind of chord is that? A flat. Okay, I'm going to play C chord. It's not a C chord, that's a C shape. It's actually D flat. So here's A flat, D flat. Okay, play A flat and play D flat. Okay, you just learned 2 chords in first position, or in first position, technically first position. Okay, if we play a D shape, that's not D, it's actually E flat. Start with the easy chords first. Okay, so that's E flat, and then D and A flat. Okay, play E flat for me. Play D flat. Play A flat. D flat, A flat, E flat. So try to learn them by their proper names. Okay, and I wouldn't try to do this all in one week, all 12 frets in one week. I would spend a week on one position and then move to maybe the next. You might prioritize based on which positions you're going to use the most. Like 3rd and 1st are very common to get away from flat keys. The 2nd position is not going to be as necessary. Okay, one more chord for now. Do an E minor shape, and that's F minor. Okay. So F minor, D flat, A flat, and E flat. Just play any progression as if it's an open position, and you can start to look at the chords and try to figure out what they actually are, not what they sound like, or what they look like. So I want to tell you one thing though, with, like, for example, this A flat here. Okay, the prefix, the A flat part of it, is not going to change if I make it like a G major 7 shape here. That's also going to be A flat major 7. This is A flat 7, A flat 6. You can do A flat minor 6, A flat minor 6 with a 7, A flat 2, anything that's the G2 shape, the G major 7, the G7, the G6, any of those, they're all going to be all transfer up here. So it's not like you're having to learn a whole bunch of new chords. It's just, you're just having to remember that instead of putting a G in front of it, you're going to put A flat in front of it. Similarly, with the C shape, C7 would be like this, or C2, or C major 7, but actually these are all D flat. So this is D flat 7, with the pinky added, D flat major 7 with the open B string, D flat 2 would be, here would be, now here's one thing I'm going to do though. If I do mention fret numbers, I am going to mention them as if we're in open position, because we're really not talking. If I were to do tablature for this, I wouldn't put down 4th fret. I would put down 3rd fret for this note here. Okay, if I were to write out tab, because that way you could transpose it to any key and using the capo, and it'll all work. You don't have to sit there and accommodate the capo when you see 4. If you see 4, 3, 1, 3, or 4, 4, it's pretty confusing. But if I think of it as 3, 2, 0, 3, 3, then that's much more like a 2 chord, a C2 chord. But this is A flat. Okay. D flat. Here's the E flat chord. So this would be E flat major 7. This would be E flat 7. All those chords are all still good. E flat 6, E flat minor 7, okay, E flat minor 6, E minor here, or we could go, the E minor shape here would be F minor, we could go F7, so there's F7, or here F7, or I could do F minor 7 or F minor 9th. All those chords, all those shapes are going to be good. Now, some of the ones that may be a little bit more difficult, or maybe easier in some ways, but like if you were to play the B minor shape, it'd be right there. Well, that's C minor. Well, since it's a bar chord, you're kind of thinking of it as a C minor anyway. So that's fairly easy to think A flat and then think C minor and then D flat and E flat, E minor. Same thing with G minor here. Okay, it's like an F sharp minor shape down here if I were in open position, but actually since I'm up capo to fret, then the whole chord moves up a fret with it. And so this is G minor, whether the capo is on or not. Okay, so we have G minor, F minor, D flat, E flat, A flat. We have C minor. We also could have B flat minor. Okay, so the A minor shape would be B flat minor. Or I could have B flat 7. That's A7. That's going to be B flat 7. Okay, so let me give you some more quizzing here. Okay, A flat, D flat, F minor. Try to beat me to it. Okay, C minor. I gotta give you a little more time next time. G minor. E flat, D flat, D flat 7. Can you see that? How about B minor? I'm sorry, B flat minor. I'm gonna mess you up. B flat minor. Okay, how about B flat minor 7? Or get that one too. All right. How about? Okay, here's a tough one. F7. Remember F minor? Make it into the 7th chord. There's your F7. And can you just see that if you were barring with your first finger, that would be F7. That's pretty easy to see. So again, my whole point of this is I don't want you transposing. I want you to actually be knowing the chords that you're playing when you're capoed, not just transposing and think of this as an E or this is a G or this is an A. Because that's going to, like I said, it's going to get you in trouble. And you're really not learning as much as you would if you were actually learning the positions, okay? All right, how about E flat 7? I'll give you a few more. There you go. How about E flat minor? Good. A flat 2. There's one, or you could do this. There's a few ways you could play it. How about, okay, here's one. How about C flat? Yeah, that's a toughie. Okay, so remember, if you were to play B flat, you would be actually playing, this would be C flat, or you could think of it as B if you wanted. That would be also B. So if the song is going and you're playing A flat, flat and an E flat, and then they want a B to D flat. They might call that C flat. It might be, if you were going, if I were in this key, I would probably call it C flat, as weird as that is. To D flat, to E flat. And same thing with this G flat. Might call the F a G flat. So this will give you kind of an overview of the chords in the first position. I'm going to do this in other positions. I did a video a while back on the third position, and I'm going to redo that one because I think the audio wasn't happening. So I hope this helps. I really want you to learn your fretboard. I feel like that's a real important thing, make you a better musician, a better guitar player. God bless you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.